From the Power Slave release, that, of course, is Iron Maiden with 2 minutes to midnight. Actually, it's 2 minutes to 1 a.m. my time anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're in mountain time, it would be 2 minutes to midnight.
That's right.
Actually, it is. It's 12:58.
Look at that. Nice timing.
It is. It's perfect timing. Time for Nathan from Kentucky to call in and tell us all about his Florida trip and going to Iron Maiden. So what's going on, Nathan?
Hey, how's it going, boys and girls?
Excellent. Now, before you get into your whole Maiden story, your Maiden voyage, how is it that you went to Florida? Did you go to Florida specifically for the show?
Yeah. My crazy, insane Maiden fan club friend Jared, not Jared Fogle from Subway, was going down there, so I went down there with him. So,
did he pay your way? I know he's a wealthy doctor guy and all.
He paid for the ticket and the hotel and the rental car, so I decided to pay for the flight. So.
Oh, that's all you had to pay for. He paid for everything else.
Yes.
And interesting that
it's good to have friends that are doctors.
Yeah, it's interesting that he also lives in the Indianapolis area, and his name is Jared. Kind of a interesting parallel there.
Nice.
Yeah. That's why I always have to preface that by saying not Fogle every time I talk to you guys.
Sure, absolutely. So you guys was this something he decided to do, or you just hey, Maiden's playing in Florida, let's go?
He's actually going to 4 dates. He's actually going to go to New York City, Detroit, and Chicago.
Wow, look at that guy. Is he a single guy?
Well, no, believe it or not, he's married with 2 kids.
Holy shit, Chris. How did you end up the way that you did? This guy is traveling all around chasing bands. He's married with a couple of kids, and he's out there chasing bands like a groupie whore.
Well, you know what? He's probably been making middle 6 figures long enough that pussy's well trained.
Yeah, he makes the money, so he kind of runs the show.
So
he gets shit for it, but
yeah.
You know.
Well, you know what? That's a thing. You know, most married guys can't even go to a show locally, let alone around the country like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you put her in $100,000 worth of jewelry, she'll fucking let you go to see Iron Maiden.
Yeah, but what's the penance you have to pay when you get home? Did you have fun? Did you fuck whores while you were away?
I'll bet it was fun because I wasn't there, right?
Yeah, did you hook up with anybody while you were gone? Did you go to a strip club?
Well, women just don't like it when the man has fun, period. So.
Well, yeah, I get that. And I'm going to tell a story real quick here that has nothing to do with Iron Maiden or traveling or anything. And Chris knows who I'm talking about when I talk about this, but when I co-owned a business with a former brother-in-law, one of the things that we like to do, because we had a pretty cool office set up, we had this big conference room. Mm-hmm. Periodically, we would gather some of our business colleagues, and we would have a poker night. It was just a dude night. We would drink some Johnny Walker Blue, smoke a few cigars, play some Casino, the movie Casino on the big screen, and play some poker.
Right.
Yeah.
It was an evening event, right after work. We'd leave work at 5, go get a bite, come back, deal out some cards, sit around, shoot the shit, play some poker. Well, one of our colleagues who we invited to this thing, good dude, just a nice guy, he's there playing poker with us. It's only, 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the evening. His cell phone is ringing nonstop. Where are you? When are you coming home? What are you doing there? Are there girls there? Are there strippers there? It's like I'm playing cards with the guys. I'll be home by 10. 9:30. Are you coming home anytime soon? What's going on over there? Guys, I got to leave. I got to cash out my chips. I got to go. Can't even go play a freaking poker game with your buds. Ain't happening.
Like so many other pussy men in this world,
Yeah. But anyway, I found a couple of stories before you actually get into the review here. You text me and said that you took a flight, and much like the story I told about flying out to Nam and back, that my flight attendants were all dudes. Mm-hmm. Did you have that experience as well?
The way back, the way down there was 3 women, but the way back it was three very effeminate men. Yes, very, very much so. And I couldn't help but think of you, and that's why I texted you when I got on the plane.
Of course. How could you not think that? It's just like, this is fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it was just like you said, just typical, effeminate males, doing a female-oriented type job,
You're a sexist by making a comment like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably.
You should be taken off the air.
Are you trying to say that a soft man can't hook a buckle next to your ball sack?
He can't show me how to use the flotation device or the oxygen mask.
Yeah.
I'm offended by that.
Right.
So what's the story with getting into a fight and getting some dude's cell phone?
Well, that's what I was going to start off with, because that involves you, because I contacted you and you gave me some very sage advice about how to handle that situation.
All right. Well, why don't you go ahead and start this story about the show or wherever you think it's best to start, and then you can lead into that.
Okay. Well, I mean, one of the very interesting things is that the way it was handled by the staff at the arena was horrible. We had first to the barricade, and so you have to line up in this big long line, and you're supposed to be the first people inside the arena. So, but when they started, we queued up there for well over an hour, and so they finally started letting people in about 7:15. They don't print tickets anymore. Everything's electronic.
Mm-hmm.
And so you queue up, and you have to have the credit card that the ticket was on. So people start going through, and for a while there, they swiped the cards. Everybody went in, no problem. And then, for some reason, the card readers stopped working. And here's 16,000 people waiting to get into whatever, how many people were going to this show, waiting to get into this arena, and the freaking card readers don't work. And so they tell everybody to go over to the box office, and they will print you a physical ticket. So
man.
Jesus.
Jared had bought the tickets on his credit card, so he runs over to the box office. He comes back and says they won't fucking print a ticket. He's like, they told me they will not print one. Even if they did print one, it won't have a barcode that you can scan. So we go back over there and we say, they won't give us a ticket. And they said, well, you can't come in. And it's like, well, the fucking card won't scan. You won't give us a fucking ticket. What the fuck are we supposed to do? And so this went on probably for 45 minutes.
Oh
and
God.
the GA people are lined up right next to us. And I mean, I got to the point where I'm like, these fucking people are going to rush this barricade and fucking kill us, because there's only like 20 of us that were waiting to get in. And we're holding up the entire fucking show for over like 20 people. These people have been out here. The GA people had been queued out there since 1 o'clock in the afternoon, And I'm like, oh my God. And so finally the freaking card readers finally came back on, or whatever. Thank God. But we get in there, and the place is empty. I mean, we got in there at like 7:45, and their place is empty because they hadn't let anybody in yet.
Wow.
So they brought on this Raven Age, whatever. It's Steve Harris's kid is in the band or whatever. And so they go out there and play in front of like 200 people because they hadn't opened the doors yet. And which, of course, nobody gave a shit anyway, because nobody really wanted to see those guys anyway. And they were kind of your typical nu metal band where the songs all sounded the same, and it was all, I'm broken, and can you fix me, and I hate my life, and all that, typical bullshit. So they actually delayed Maiden coming on for probably about half an hour to let people come in, and it finally did fill in, and it was a complete sellout. I mean, it was a full arena, but it was just, I don't understand that system of how you can have card readers, and if the card readers go down, then you have basically 20,000 people that can't get into an arena. you know. And so that's I don't know if that's the way it is everywhere now or what, but you know, that was pretty fucked up. So, but everybody pretty much did get in. You know, Maiden held off for a while, and so that worked out all right. But I mean, honestly, they hadn't played in 19 months. It was their first show in 19 months, and I thought they were great. I mean, they played, I think, 6 songs off the Book of Souls, which, you know, I know some people not very fond of that album, but they played the songs that I liked off of it. They played a lot of those, so it's pretty good. Bruce sounded great. I mean, he, you know, he did make one kind of, the first time he came out and talked, he kind of made a joke about the cancer thing, which was funny because the crowd didn't really think it was very funny. So it was, you know, he's making like a joke about, he said something about he haven't played in 19 months, and the reasons for that are very tumorous. And the crowd was kind of like, yeah.
I thought he was going to say something like he got cancer of the tongue from eating too much pussy or something.
No. That's all he said, and then he kind of went on. But I mean, they did their thing. They're always great as always, and you know, they you know, great. They had of course, the whole stage show. I don't know if you guys saw any of the YouTube of it or whatever, but it was all Mayan themed with the Book of Souls, you know, type thing. And I mean, just as usual, just spot on. The band's great. Like I texted you afterwards, and you know, Bruce just does a great job. And he wasn't quite as active as I've seen him in the past as far as the jumping around, but he was, you know, pretty much, you know, running around and, you know, doing all that usual stuff.
Did Yana Gears, you know, add a lot to the show?
We were toward the more of the left side of the stage. He was more out toward the right. But of course, a few times I kind of peeked over there. He's over there just doing his typical where he's dancing around, and you know, once again, you had to wonder half the time if he was actually plugged in or not, because you know, he just kind of just over there in his own little world. And you know, Adrian and Dave were coming over to our side, and Steve was coming over to our side, and you know, Yannick just kind of stayed over there and, you know, did his own thing. So, but typical Yannick, I guess.
All right.
But the funny story, I guess, and the reason I contacted you later in the night is not only because I got a chance to meet Norge just for a little bit after the show, because we was only there for about 2 days, and he had to work a lot, so we didn't really get a chance to meet until after the show.
So did you just like figure out where to meet somewhere?
Yeah, it was after the show. We just kind of hung out front for a little bit. So because he's actually from Miami, which is, you know, a little bit up from Fort Lauderdale, so he had to get back down, and I guess he works at a Harley Davidson dealership down there or something. So he was pretty tied up with that for the 2 days that I was there. But the funny part was that we were down on the floor, and we even though we had first to the barricade, we didn't really end up right on the barricade. We were end up about 2 or 3 rows back, and things on the floor got a little crazy. Not horrible. I mean, I'm sure, you know, Chris has been to like Pantera shows and stuff, so I'm sure, you know, he would think that this is a pussy crowd compared to that. But it got a little nuts in there. There was a bunch of, back to my right was a bunch of big, hairy Scandinavian dudes who were just going crazy. I mean, they, you know, every song came on and they were flying all over the place and hugging and kissing each other, and, you know, and just, you know, like it was like the best moment of their life every time a new song came on. So, but it got to the encore, and I'm probably about in the third row back, and Jared and a buddy of his are in front of me, and out of nowhere, this fucking douchebag just comes flying in, and I guess he's trying to rush the barricade, and so he comes rushing up on my left side, and he like starts fucking yelling at me, you know, and I couldn't understand what the fuck he was saying. It was so loud, and then finally he gets right up in my ear, and he's like, "Look at you, you're just fucking standing there. You're just fucking standing there." He's like, "I'm 47 years old. You know, I've come here to bring the energy, and you're just fucking standing there." And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
That's,
you know?
That's the guy at the Heaven and Hell show, Chris, that had to stand up on the chair and
that was facing us instead of the band.
Yeah,
I was throwing pennies at as hard as I could.
So this guy, he keeps trying to get past me. And so finally he kind of works off to my left and kind of gets halfway around me. And then he tries to force in between Jared and Jared's buddy. And Jared's a pretty big dude, and Jared was having nothing of it. Because he tried to, he like got like a leg in between the two of them and then tried to stick his arm in between the two of them. And Jared freaking took his arm and like twisted it backwards and was like, fuck you, dude, you ain't getting past me. and and so he kind of settled back a little bit, and then Wasted Years came on, and he started jumping around. And I felt something hit my leg, and then something hit the ground next to me. I looked down, and it was the fucking guy's cell phone.
Nice.
And so I put my foot on it, and just kind of held my foot on it. And then, of course, after that, they started throwing picks, and everybody started going crazy or whatever, and so I kind of got jostled around. But then I got a chance to pick it up.
Right.
And I fucking picked it up and stuffed it in my pocket. And so we head out of the arena after the show, and I got back out front, and I met up with Norge, and I showed Norge. I said, "Yeah, dude, this asshole." I said, "I got his phone, and it's ringing. Somebody keeps calling it." And I'm like, "How do I turn this fucking thing off?" You know, because I didn't want to answer it, you know. And so the guy Norge was with was like, "Here, it's a big Samsung, big fancy Samsung." And so he turned it off, and so we headed over to the after party, and that's when I texted Neely and I said, "Okay, this is what happened." I said, "Do I smash this fucking thing? Do I throw it in a bush, or do I just keep it?"
Right.
And I'll let Neely tell you what he told me.
Well, I told him, well, number one, it's stolen property, you know, technically. And number two, you don't know if the guy has some kind of like a Find My Phone app thing on it.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know if the guy will track it back to you.
Yeah, I wouldn't have kept it.
Yeah.
That's what I told him. I said, don't keep it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have kept it.
Yeah. So I just said, just get rid of it.
My foot would go through it.
Well, I took your advice, and I went we were at the after party at this bar, and I went into the bathroom at the bar and chucked it in the trash can.
Search right.
And I'm pretty sure the guy was foreign, so he probably doesn't have his phone going back to whatever fucking shit country he was from. So.
Yeah. Eat shit, asshole. I just threw away your $900 phone.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. You gotta come up and try to rush the barricade and be a dick and be all drunk and stupid and sloppy, so I was like, fuck it. I'm throwing away your phone, asshole.
Yeah, karma has a way of just, you know, getting you.
Fuck them.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was a very short trip. It was just basically just a little bit over 48 hours. But I get to meet a lot of the fan club type people, and let me tell you, like the hardcore Maiden fans are some of the most ridiculously crazy people you'll ever meet in your life. I mean, they came from all around the world for that show. There was a pre-party at a restaurant just down from the arena, and we had people from Mexico, Finland, Spain, you know, I mean, every country you could freaking imagine the people were from. And I mean, I don't know how other bands are as far as their diehard, you know, people. But man, those people were freaking hardcore. And, you know, like, it's all they talk about. I mean, we went out Tuesday night, and it was like we had about 6 people, and it was like, you know, I guess I was probably the only non-fan club guy there. And it was just like, that's all they talked about. And it was like, well, I have this big of a collection, and I've seen them 220 times, and I've seen them 250 times. And, you know, I'm going to 20 dates on this tour, and I'm going to 40 dates on this tour. And it's like, man, God, you people are really hardcore.
Well, look at your pal going to 4 or 5 shows himself.
Well, 4 was like of the group we were in. That was like 4 was like, oh, what you're going to is 4? Really? There was one guy who was going to every date, including El Salvador and China and
Jesus,
all that shit.
Where do these people get their money and their time to do shit like that?
I don't know. I have no idea. But we were hanging out we had this couple of Canadian guys, and I think it was a Norwegian guy we were hanging out with, and some English guys, and I mean, they were just nuts. I mean, when we're sitting we ended up at the Hard Rock Casino on Tuesday night, and when we're sitting around talking about, you know, collections and stuff and what these guys have, and the one guy was talking about vinyl. You know, I have some Maiden on vinyl. I even have like some 12-inch singles and some cool stuff like that. this guy was talking about how he paid $800 for a pressing of the Number of the Beast from Zimbabwe. And I was like, that's it, dude. I'm like, I'm checked out. I'm like, you guys are insane. You know, $800 is like a house payment, you know, and this guy's paying that for a record.
Right.
You know, because it came from Zimbabwe. So, but they're pretty crazy, though. I mean, and, you know, they I like to think I like lots of bands and have, you know, a pretty decent interest, even of non-hard rock and metal bands. But these guys are, I mean, it's all Maiden all the time.
Sure.
You know? It's crazy.
It is crazy, but, you know, I
got to admire the dedication, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. But I would like to know where these people get their money and how they have the time to do that kind of stuff. Just fly all over the place and go check out 30 dates on a tour. And it's just crazy.
Yeah. Maybe they're independently wealthy or something. A lot of them are you know, foreign, you know, so maybe they, you know, maybe they have their money from there. But they you know, they save up all year for this. And of course they hadn't played in almost 2 years. So, you know, but I mean, it's just crazy. But I mean, you know, it was a great, you know, I say a great time, except for douchebag there at the end. But I got my revenge on that guy.
Well, at least you got a nice little reprieve from you know, the Midwest winter and got to go down where it was at least warm.
Yeah, definitely. Wednesday was show day, and we got up fairly early and headed down to Fort Lauderdale Beach, and 10 o'clock in the morning we were drinking on the beach at 10 a.m. So
well, where did you stay? Where did you stay down there?
It was just someplace right over by the arena. Actually, is over at Sunrise.
I see.
That's where the Florida Panthers play. So it was just a little, I think it was La Quinta or one of those just chain hotels down through there somewhere.
Yeah, I stayed at a Holiday Inn on the beach at one time down there. So.
Yeah. No, it was nice. It was 83 degrees.
Nice.
You know, beautiful. And it was snowing back here in Kentucky, so it was very nice. But no, it's a very short trip, but it was pretty cool.
Cool.
I don't understand too the fact that why do you want to see multiple? I mean, they're playing the same songs. The set list is not going to change, and why would you want to see them every night play the same set list? I don't get that either. But I guess if you're a diehard fan, I guess you don't care. But it was very cool that it was the first date and we didn't know the set list, and so that was pretty cool too. So
sure.
You get the chance to, you know, kind of be surprised a little bit. Even though they did open up the merch early, and so we went in to get some merch, and they were doing sound checks, so we did overhear a little bit of the set, so we did have a little sneak peek of what was going to be played. But
so what
cool.
What do they sell in shirts for? $45, $50?
Just 40.
40? Just 40.
Just 40.
Just 40.
And people were lined around the block, you know, to get them. So
that's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Oh my! Yeah, well, Jared bought $500 and something worth.
Holy
shit! To a bunch of people.
Shit!
Well, we sent them to people all over the world, you know, because people wanted them. They do event shirts. Like there was an event shirt for that one in particular, and that type of deal. So they got to try to milk you for every penny they can.
All right then.
500.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah. Well, he bought I think 18 or 20 or something, or you know, and all that. But Tuesday we went over to Nico's place, the Rockin' Ribs, had dinner over there, and it's a pretty cool little place. If you ever, I think it's in Coral Gables. And if you're ever down there, lots of cool Maiden memorabilia all over the wall, and actually the ribs are pretty good. It's actually, you know, it is pretty good food. It's not just you know, a rip off because it's got his name on it or whatever.
Sure.
So, but of course they tempt the trooper, man. That trooper beer, they have that everywhere you go, and you know, it's not a bad beer. I don't think it's anything, you know, particularly.
Did
wonderful.
I hear that they did not play the Trooper at that show, or Number of the Beast, or one of the big ones, Run to the Hills or something?
Run to the Hills, yeah. Run to the Hills was a notable absence from the set. So yeah, I think they did the normal. They did 5 or 6 off the new album. They did Children of the Damned, Power Slave, Trooper, Wasted Years, Number of the Beast. I'm sure I'm forgetting some other ones.
I saw the set list. I was like, ooh. Not so good.
Yeah, a lot of new stuff though. I mean, that's how they are, man. They put out a new album, they want to play it, and
I get that.
A lot
but
of them.
6 out of 15 is a bit much.
Yeah, and a few of them were kind of, I mean, they're long too. I mean, a lot of them are.
Well, that's
red
it.
and the black,
I mean, what
like
they played what 2.5 hours?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but half the show was new songs because those songs are all 8-10 minutes long.
Well, at least they didn't play the Empire of the Clouds, the 18-minute long thing with all the piano and all that stuff. So at least they didn't go into that. But the red and the black is like 13 or 14 minutes. The Book of Souls, I think, is 10 or 11 minutes. And
Tears of the Clown is fairly long too, I think, isn't it? 6 minutes or so, 6-7 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, they did play like I like Death or Glory. They played that one, and they started off with From Here to If Eternity Should Fail, and then went right into Speed of Light, and so it's pretty good. I mean, they can do that because the hardcore fans are going to like anything they put out. So they can get out there and play stuff off. Dance of Death or whatever, and people would like it. So they actually did play Blood Brothers too. So
that's cool. Well, I'll be looking forward to the DVD.
I'm sure there'll be one. So, DVD,
there always is
with
Maiden.
Oh, they want to get you for as much as they can get you for. So I mean, Priest is becoming almost as bad. I guess they just put out a live DVD.
Another DVD, yeah.
Yeah, which I couldn't be that much different from the last one, I wouldn't think. Well, I guess that Eulogy was kind of a career-spanning thing or whatever.
But you know what? You almost can't blame bands like Maiden or Kiss or whatever for doing that these days. Why not? Their fans will buy them.
Yeah, they have a built-in fan base.
Yeah.
So you're going to sell a certain amount of copies, So.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I kind of like that Maiden does it. And it's weird because usually I fucking shit on all these bands that do that. But I go back and listen to a lot of those different live records. I'm kind of partial to the Rock and Reel one lately. That's a damn good record.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to hear the crowd interaction. Of course, it's not so much with American crowds, but those South American crowds, like the In Vivo DVD and all that, and the way the crowds react is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, we think we have hardcore crowds in America, but fuck no, dude.
No,
yeah, they played at 200,000 people down there. They line up for a week before the show starts. So it's funny because some people in the fan club were talking that they went over there Tuesday to the arena, and there were all these people from Central America who were already queued up, and they had to go over and tell them, come back tomorrow. You don't have to stand here. You don't have to sit here all night. You can come back tomorrow. Because that's what they're used to. They're used to just, standing there forever, and everything. So, but, I mean, lots of people from all over the world, and everywhere we went, the flight down, there were people wearing Maiden shirts. Every hotel we went to, people with Maiden shirts. So it was kind of nuts everywhere you went. So. But the other day sounded great. Bruce sounded great. He did actually flub the lyrics to Iron Maiden in the third verse, and he even joked about it afterwards. He said, "Hey, it's been 19 months. So you think I'd remember, but I forgot." So, but
nice.
But other than that,
you went to a very testosterone-driven event, and then came back with 3 effeminate flight attendants.
Yes, I guess so. At 7 o'clock, at 7:30 in the morning, no less. So very, very early the day after the show. So
you used the barf bag and said, "I went to a very manly event, and now I got to deal with these half faggots."
Yeah, that's the way of the world, man.
It is. It's unfortunate. All right, go ahead.
No, it was a good time. They put on a good show. Maybe not the best, not the best set list as far as all the Book of Souls songs, but I still enjoyed it, though. I like that album. Like I said in the chat room earlier, it's not as good as the classic stuff, but it's not bad. I mean, it's, all those songs are just too long. They just go on, I mean, it seems like every album their songs just get longer and longer and longer and longer. And, you know, for whatever reason, I guess they feel like they have to keep making them longer. I don't know why, but you could probably cut out some of that crap and make them half as long as they are. But it's still a great band. Great, they put on a great show, and it was a pretty good time. So.
Excellent. Well, good.
If they're coming to your city, go check them out, man.
Yeah, well,
they are. Tickets for all the foreign people coming in.
Well, they are coming to Chicago. They are coming to the All-State Arena. So unless I get a hookup, I won't be seeing them.
Yeah. Well, they'll be back again, I'm sure, once they get this going. I'm sure they'll. I mean, if Bruce stays, everything's healthy and everything. I'm sure they'll continue
they
to come
said
back.
They're not going to do long tours anymore.
Yeah. Well, with that freaking plane though, man, they can just go jot off wherever they want and do, just one-offs here or there, or 4 or 5 here or there, or whatever they want. So they have having that plane just gives them the great freedom to do whatever they want to do, and they can fly off. I think they're playing El Salvador, which why the hell would you even want to go to freaking El Salvador? But
None of that.
Whatever works, but. That's all I got to report. But there you go. So,
all right, sounds like a good time.
Yeah, so I appreciate it for letting me share the details of my Florida adventure there. So, remember that's Jared, not Jared Fogle. So don't think I was hanging out with the Subway guy. So we didn't have any Subway sandwiches while we were there or anything, or molest any children or anything. So
sure. It's always a good thing. Just don't fuck the kids. That's the whole message. Just don't fuck the kids.
It's a simple message,
It is.
To live your life. A motto to live your life by.
Right. Do what you want. Just don't fuck the kids, okay?
And I'm going to do like Tim. I'm going to make my point and then get the fuck off and not call back, okay?
All right.
So, hail and kill. Fuck you guys.
Fuck you guys.
Fuck you guys.
Fuck you guys.
All right.
All right.